Well, here we are in the dead of winter here in the great state of Michigan, and there is some good pictures to take this time of the year. One thing about being a sportsman in the state of Michigan is throughout the year, there's all sorts of great outdoor wildlife photography to be had here in the state of Michigan. And many of you sportsmen out there also carry a camera with you in many of the places that you go around the state. What we're going to do right now is sit down with an outdoor photographer, find out some of his tricks of the trade, and it might just help you and me become a better outdoor photographer.
Back in September, I had the opportunity to spend an evening with Mid-Michigan wildlife photographer Kim LeBlanc. Kim has been perfecting his craft for many years and has come out of the field with many stunning photos of eagles, hawks, owls, grouse, deer, and many other wildlife that can be found here in Michigan. He has different techniques for each animal.
You see all the vegetation there. That will eventually be clothespin to this. Now for birds of prey, this won't work. Really? No. You gotta be in there, in a blind, totally concealed. I try to leave as much of the vegetation that's close alive. So all I'm doing now is bringing that back into the blind itself. We'll be able to go on the other side when I get it all set up. But that's all we're doing is just trying to make it blend in. Because, as you know, deer don't miss a trick.
On this evening, we were going to set up over a bean field to try to capture a photo of some nice bucks that were being seen here. Kim started his career using manual film cameras, as many of us did.
You know, it started in high school with one of those little Kodak Instamatics, you know, and I took a couple photos of a pheasant. And when I took it in, got developed. You see that little dot? That's what it was a dot. You know, then trying to get deer again was, you know, a little dot. You know, at 30 yards it was a dot. And then my dad bought me a Pentax K1000. And, you know, just your typical 50 millimeter lens. And so I was still trying to get wildlife photos with that little lens. And then the next lens I bought was a 200 f4. I just started slowly doing it and really getting into it. Of course, I always liked birds, so birds of prey were something I really specialized in. And then I moved up to a 400 millimeter lens. And I got a permit in '90 to photograph on the refuge. So I was taking distant eagle shots, but they were using them for slide presentations. Then I started getting bans on these eagles, and nobody knew what to do with them. And so, you know, I got a list at home of the first ones we turned in. You know, this is a partial ID here, this is a blue band, and so they put me in contact with the people in Lansing, Fish and Wildlife Service, and that's how all the eagle stuff took off. And I would rather do eagles than deer, but deer are right there. Because doing eagles is a much more commitment. When I get in a blind, especially for the project I'm working on with Michigan State and University of West Virginia, it's usually dark to dark. Because if you got an eagle sitting in a tree, you don't want the eagle to associate that little dwelling with the human. You know, we've got the bait out, we've got the trail cams, and they have no problem with the trail cams because we set them up at about 10 feet from the bait. So I figured I would specialize in something that requires a lot more time, which leaves a lot of people out of it. In a typical weekend, there'll be 30 hours in a blind, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Some days photos, some days not. I mean, just because they're sitting in the tree above you doesn't mean you're coming down on the ground.
Although eagles are Kim's passion, he spends countless hours in the blind photographing all sorts of wildlife. It's just another form of hunting, and one in which you have to hunt off the ground. We weren't seeing many deer on this evening, but it became very obvious to me it takes long hours of patience and dedication to come away with these beautiful photos. an eye for a great photo, but he also puts in the hard work to get them. Special thanks to Kim for sharing a little of how he tells a story, one amazing photograph at a time.
Thanks for joining us this week for Michigan Out of Doors. Make sure you check us out online when you get a chance. You can do it a couple of different ways. On our website at MichiganOutofDoorsTV.com or on our Facebook page at Michigan Out of Doors TV. We're on there every few days letting you know where we're at, where we're headed next. Speaking of where we're headed next, we've got a lot of fun stuff coming up for you over the next few weeks.
Well, that's right there.
By Pictured Rocks Boat Cruises of Munising, exploring Lake Superior's Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore with its sandstone cliffs, caves, waterfalls, and lighthouses. Pictured Rocks Boat Cruises on the web at picturedrocks.com. By Propane, exceptional energy. Propane retailers promote the safe use of Michigan-produced gas energy in homes, farms, and businesses across our great state. Learn more at usemichiganpropane.com. By Meyer, a destination for hunting, fishing, and camping. From bug spray and tents to GPS and gas, Meyer has nearly everything you need to take on nature and get you there. Meyer. Closed captioning is brought to you by Propane, exceptional energy. Propane retailers promote the safe use of Michigan-produced gas to outdoor enthusiasts across our great state.
When I wander far away, a dream stays with me night and day. It's the road that leads to my home state. I am a Michigan man. Changing seasons paint the scene like rainbow trout in a hidden stream. The white-tailed deer and the tall pine tree.